type of energy only Darren McCarty and Neil Rule can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
And welcome to Big D Energy.
Big D, Snow Edition. Prepare, be safe. Let's go.
Welcome to the show. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. He is on the road. I believe he's going to Indy. Is that where he's going? Indy to call the Oakland University basketball game. So I'll be sitting in for the next 2 hours along with my man Darren McCarty. To my left, we got KG in the sound booth. And, of course, the one, the only, the mustache sitting in the TD booth. Spencer Raxter. Lots of stuff to talk about today. Michigan basketball last night. The Pistons last night,
Damn right.
The Red Wings. D-Mac, we want to talk to you about how you kind of stay hot during these breaks, and then the top 5 lists of all top 5 lists. Mm-hmm. You demanded it. We're delivering it. Top 5 animals you could beat up.
It's a good one off the board. You go off the board with this one, throw you a little bit of a loop. Neil's not here, but we got to do things Stick would do that Neil wouldn't.
Yes. Yeah, who decided this? Was this a chat suggestion?
It was me and D-Mac. We were politicking last night.
Yeah, there's a couple good. I mean, we could have gone with the regulars and stuff like this, but for some reason, whatever, we thought this was a good one. So stick around for that. That'll be fun. Why do we do the top 5, Spenny?
It's half as boring as top 10 list.
Yeah.
Bam!
Well, I'll tell you one animal that the Pistons could beat the hell out of. It's the Bulls. Mm-hmm. Like the Pistons last night, halftime lead in franchise history. It was like 71-40 something at halftime.
Crazy.
Just an absolute beat down. This team starting to gel, and you hate to see it, kind of like the Red Wings getting that momentum going, and then you got to hit the All-Star break. But when you're watching these Pistons play, I'm starting to get text from friends, right? That's how you know the Detroit Pistons are back. During the game, I'm getting texts from random people like, are you watching this? Man, these guys look pretty good. That went away for about 15 to 20 years.
Well, Stick, that's been away for the past 15 or 20 years, except for a little bit here and there. No, you know what the big tell is? If you're on social media or whatever, look at the Detroit athletes, celebrities, whatever like this that are in other parts of the country. And I'm going to bring up, for example, Max Crosby, right? Like, who's a Michigan native and on Twitter said something about, hey, look at these Pistons go. So they're on everybody's radar. And you asked a question earlier, Stick, that we can dive into, because I think that it plays for both the Red Wings and the Pistons, playing probably some of the best of their sport so far this year up to this point. But here's the one thing I'll just say. Their youth and what they're fighting for shouldn't be an issue. So as long as they take care of themselves this break, no matter what they have, and that's going to get rejuvenated and recharged and stuff like that. So it gives, I mentioned yesterday, it gives guys like Mo Sider a chance to recharge. It gives young guys like Simon Edvidson a chance to recharge. The only thing that you hope is everybody goes and recharges. I don't think with what the Pistons, if we're going to focus on them, have going right now, you watch the way that they play. Now, here's another test tonight, coming back-to-back at home. Let's do it two games in a row. But the flow and the fluidity of how they're doing it matter-of-factly. Now, the Wings also, too, where you see Coach McClellan come out and pretty much say they've done what I've asked, right, and played the way they asked. And you can say that for both the Red Wings and the Pistons. So it's an exciting time. I mean, if anybody, I know it's weather's supposed to get tight and stuff like this. But again, let's dial in. People will be tuned into the Pistons tonight, back-to-back at home. 2 games over 500. The one thing that I want to focus on, it's the way they're doing it throughout the bench. It's just not the Cage show.
Right.
I mean, right now,
is
it not the Malik Beasley show in these last few games and stuff like this? And isn't that what good teams do over different stretches of time? Different guys carry them. So you're in front of your eyes, going back to the basketball team, you're developing into a consistent right? Playoff team, right? Bottom. What do you think? What do you think the ceiling is? Like 4, 5, 6?
I mean, 4 would be insane.
Insane, right?
Like
so
5,
you're
6,
so still the
would
ceiling
be
is 5 to
like a
8
far
team.
reach.
You're a 5 to 8 team,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But look at from where we came from, and shout out to the whole organization. And I think that everything always comes back to the theme is the locker room. No matter which locker, do they like each other? And the Pistons locker room is as tight, it looks like, as what we saw coming out of Allen Park.
Yeah, I actually heard Terry Foster talking about that with Kool-Aid after the show. He was talking about how the team seems to like Cade. They want to hang out with Cade. And, you know, sometimes when you have that star player, he kind of alienates himself from the rest of the people. But Cade is just one of those dudes. And you saw that, like, starting 2 to 3 years ago when they were showing up to games together, sitting courtside together at certain places. And whenever you have that team unity, it makes things easier. And then when you start winning, it's just almost like an avalanche effect, right? Everybody starts believing, oh my gosh, now we're good and we're boys, and then we start believing more in each other, and it just keeps going from there till you see the Pistons now in position to win 43 games they could win this season.
Yep.
That's what they're projected as.
And I actually have a video of Malik Beasley talking about how close the locker room is, if you guys want to hear that.
Yeah.
So here, this is from Hunter Patterson. This is after last night's game. It's Malik Beasley on how close the locker room is.
We talked about just you getting the guys on the game, playing Call of Duty and things like that. Have you ever been a part of a group this close?
No. I mean, I've had teams where there's 3 or 4 of us, but every night we're fighting to see who's going to play with each other. Sometimes we got to go 2 or 3 squads and just hope for the best.
And there you go. Male bonding over Call of Duty, you know, doing missions together, accomplishing small goals together. But honestly, it even goes back to Little League. Like, obviously, I didn't play professional sports like Darren McCarty, but even on my Little League teams, the ones that won championships, you could tell that, like, we were all playing basketball after a baseball game. We were still, you know, getting together, going to see movies back in the day. We were going to the arcade and hanging out together. It wasn't just we show up to the game and we leave. No, we were all friends. And when you get that level, it's fun to see. And JB Bickerstaff has to be given all the credit for this, right? Because you didn't hear these stories last year.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But we could see how it was a little bit divided. I think, and last year it was coaching staff or their coach and Monty Williams and the team. They weren't on the same page. I think that why the guys were so resilient is because this nugget or this was built through that testament of the tough time with Monty Williams, right? And then JB got them all together, added a few elements to it, like I said, Malik Beasley. The one thing that I bring up is, and I don't know, Chase, if you can look this up. I tried to look it up, but I'm inept on this computer. Because the big difference with me, and you know how I watch it, you know, I'm not the basketball guy, but Asur Thompson in the lineup.
Yeah.
Since he's been back, like he not only and obviously his play, but him being in that lineup, and I know they're a winning basketball team, but it's just they get it from all different guys. And at the end of the day, they're young. Mm-hmm. They are so young. So this is only the building block. We've seen it in the past.
And that's why, like, if they make the playoffs this year and get bounced in the first round, as long as it's not a sweep and they get some taste of the action and what the intensity is like and how the game changes a little bit from the regular, as long as they get a little taste this year, I'm going to be satisfied with it, right?
Aren't these guys sort of like, when you look at them, aren't they built more for resiliency and for, you know, a tougher time, a tougher game? I don't see these guys folding under bright lights.
That's the thing. Come playoff time, this could be an even better team because they're already playing defense.
That was my point.
Yeah.
That my point is that, like, this is a team, and I said it yesterday, this is a team you don't want to play, right? You don't want to play them because they're going to come out and play every night. They're young, and they're led by a dog.
And they're
right?
physical.
But they like it.
Yeah.
Right? And they got through it. And would you say, right, what do I always say about winning? When the guy next to you is more important to you than yourself, and you see, and they embracing their roles.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And pushing each other. So
it's
been fun to watch. Hasn't it been fun to watch? And thank goodness, because between the Red Wings and the Pistons, I say thank you because you've eased the hurt of the end of the Lions season.
Yes, sir.
Oh, this has been great. I mean, normally
Like,
at
it's
Woodward
like,
Sports,
you know
in the
what I'm
4
saying?
years of Woodward Sports, year one, it was like Lions knocked out of it early. We're getting ready for the draft. Pistons suck. Red Wings suck. Tigers are going to suck.
Right.
Like, that was what we had here like in 2020. Every team was at the absolute bottom. And one of the best topics that we had here back in the day when we first started was, which team's going to be first to come out of it? And, like, that was the general topic around here. Which team's not going to suck anymore first? Lions were the first ones to come out of it, and now everybody else is following. And we got to say what's up to everybody in the Woodward Sports chat. Don't forget, if you want to drop that super chat, you can skip the line and make sure everything you say gets mentioned. DJ Justice, they called you a madman, Stick. 40-plus wins. If you go back early in the season, I said 40. Only because I didn't think 20-25 was an improvement, right? Like 14-25 still means you're probably the worst team in the league, damn near the worst team. And what is that? Oh, we went from worst to worst? That's not an improvement. I wanted to see a leap, and 40 wins was the benchmark for me, and hopefully they get it. 43 wins, this is from DNC ENT, 43 wins is 15-13 to close the season. We are not a 500 team.
I mean, they are right now.
Well, actually, they're not. He is correct. They're an above 500
2 games
team.
over 500.
Yeah, they're better than 500.
And after tonight should be 3. And by the way, I apologize because I got aloof. The game is back-to-back in Chicago.
Yeah.
That's
Was Ben Johnson there last night?
That don't happen a lot.
Wasn't he
does it?
courtside last
Well, I
night?
mean, it happens, but yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Little get back at Ben Johnson while he had to watch the beatdown from Detroit last night.
Yeah, no. Spinny putting that in the show sheet was hilarious.
Let's see. Mike G. Stick, you ever hang out at Aladdin's Castle Arcade? I have not, but I did hear of it. Never been there.
Is it still open?
I don't know if it's still open. I used to go to Bonaventure a lot. What was it? La Boom, Club La Boom, Modern Rock Cafe for the teen clubs back in the day.
Okay.
I lived over in West Bloomfield, so I always went to Marvin's.
Marvelous Marvin's. Yeah, they're relocating that.
Yeah,
they closed it, but relocating
it in a bigger spot or something.
Yeah. Marvelous Marvin's is awesome. Leo Cromartie, hey, Stick, what a game last night. Mouth was open the entire time. No
Whoa.
Diddy. And I think that's what a lot of Detroit's watching because like it's a lot like media trying to get people to sample your product and then come back. Like you got to give them something they like the initial time they watch it. And when you're getting these fans starting to hear the buzz about the Pistons, then they tune into a game last night, you got them hooked.
Yeah.
You got them hooked. The casuals will become hardcores if they keep playing like that.
The morning show chat, actually, we started talking Michigan basketball to start the show. And they
Of course, with Flannel Sam.
Oh, well, of course, but they demanded Pistons talk. And I've never in my days, and y'all been here longer than me, I've never in my days seen Pistons talk demanded on any show. So, the fact that they are earning the city's trust back. And I think they had to go about that because of just what we've been through the last decade with this team. And even during the Blake Griffin years, you knew that shit wasn't really sustainable. So the fact that they're out there, they're consistently giving effort night in and night out, and they're winning games, man, and they're winning games convincingly. I think it just plays a long way into earning that city's trust back. And by the time playoffs roll around, I think a good majority of this city will be behind this team. I think LCA will be sold out for those playoff games, and I'm ready to see it, man. It's about damn time.
I mean, the city's been starving for it,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
that's been the whole thing. I mean, you see it with the Lions, and we've seen it with the Pistons. Like, you guys weren't really around in 04. I mean, you were alive, but you weren't like experiencing 04.
Yeah.
This city was crazy for the Pistons, like absolutely crazy. When we were giving away tickets on the radio station, we were doing like contests, like decorate your car like a Piston.
Yeah.
And one dude like blew up a bunch of trash bags to make an afro on his car.
Yeah, the Fear the Fro movement was real.
The field, everybody. Larry
was trying to
Larry
make a
Brown
fro.
was wearing an afro, and nobody said a damn thing. Like, it was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Put it on, old white guy. You're fine with us. But that's what I mean. It was all over the place from downriver. You see, that's the basketball that they still painted down there.
Mm-hmm.
When they repainted that, I was like, man, this thing's gonna be repainted almost every single year.
Nope.
Here we are, 21 years later, and it's the old paint job. But it's just things like that. This city loves the Pistons. This city loves a winner.
Yeah.
And anytime you provide them a winner, D-Mac, this city embraces you like nobody else.
Oh, 100 million %. 100 million%. And I think that what you hear and read in the chat thread, it's the effort, right? What do we talk about? I always talk about the Red Wings. There's the right way to play. The wins and losses will come. If we're talking about this Pistons team here, what have they continued to do? No matter who's on the court, they're playing hard, right? Nobody takes any time off. Yeah, maybe execution is off, but they're learning how to play and learning how to win, and they're having fun. They're hard to play against. So that's what we appreciate here in this town, and we'll embrace it, and we'll support it. And we know what it is, and this is just becoming second nature, hopefully we can have, like I said before here, Pistons will host a playoff game here. They'll be the first one in LCA. Hopefully the Wings follow.
Now, forgive my ignorance on this, D-Mac. Did the Red Wings win a title before you got there? Were you there in '96 for the very first?
97.
So you came. That was the very first, right?
That was the first one in 42 years. So I wasn't alive back in '55. So I wasn't here for that one.
The shift in love for the team when you go from being, they haven't won in a long time, to getting that very first one. Because obviously you were part of 4. So the fourth one, the intensity.
But the first one, because of growing up around here and knowing the Dead Wings and knowing, the history and everything like that, and the momentum and how we had to do it. We had, like Neil will sit across from me all the time and say, hey, I'll be honest, I didn't think you guys could. Because there was more of a contingent that thought we were too European, we were too soft, we weren't good enough, we couldn't beat Colorado after they beat us, and so the only way out is through.
And how was it seeing just like the evolution of, I see one Red Wings flag on my way to the Joe Louis Arena, and then by the end of the season, it's just every car everywhere.
97 changed it all. I think every flag came out the day after that. It was what I say, it was the proverbial, it's going to be all right, don't know what it means, it's going to be all right. That was felt through the whole wing-wheeled nation, right? And I think that once that everything started, it was just this confidence. And I think that that's what we're gaining here with our sports team, which we haven't had at the same time ever.
Right.
So we're ready as fans. And especially because of the effort. We're more concerned. It ain't about championships, right? Although we want to win championships and we want to get there. But it's about our teams playing the right way, representing us as fans and playing hard and sticking up for each other and going down with a fight. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And we'll bring it out and we'll cheer and we'll give you everything that we have. So we're prepared. And God bless for this younger generation that hasn't experienced anything.
I don't know how any of these guys are sports fans.
Justin
Satawa, KG, Spenny, the fact that you guys are diehard too. It's not just that they're sports fans. You guys are diehard and you've never been rewarded.
Yeah, well, as a Lions fan, for sure, never been rewarded, although these past 2 years have been pretty damn good. But, I was around for 2004. I got to see the Wings win. So we've seen every other team do it. Now, I didn't see the Tigers win, but I've always been a Tigers fan, and I did get to see them go to 2 World Series, although they lost. So the Lions are the only real team that we haven't seen marginal success from. But the fact that all of our teams are good at one time, I've never seen that.
I just want to get back to the point where it's almost taken for granted that Detroit's going to see a parade.
Yeah.
That's what it was growing up. After the Red Wings got it when I was 16 years old in '96, the Pistons won when I was 8, when I was 9, when I was 23. It was just a downtown championship parade was guaranteed almost every 5 years growing up in some capacity. Yeah. I want to get back to that because those parades are absolutely amazing. Spenny, Feldman. Is that where we're going? That's me. Feldman Chevrolet. We were out there on Monday, and man, they treat us so well out there. Plus, we got free lunch. It was amazing. Charlie's. Feldman Chevrolet, the #1 Chevy dealer in all of the entire world, galaxy, and beyond. If you're looking for a new car, especially one to get you through these cold winter days, hit up Feldman Chevrolet, especially the one in Novi.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season
and take advantage of our $20 haircut special.
Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, while all the teams are on a hot streak, why don't you represent them in the streets? We got it for you. Go to woodwardsports.com, click on shop. You can get your Red Wings gear. You can get your Pistons stuff. We got all new Tiger stuff up for opening day. Make sure you're representing the city and representing all the winning teams in Detroit. Get it at woodwardsports.com. Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on Woodward Sports. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule today. He is in Indy, probably getting snowed on already. Snow's about to hit here in a couple hours, I hear. About to be wild in the streets.
Not
You ready?
looking forward to it.
You know what? And again, I guess we always complain, Spenny, that everything breaks after us. Mm-hmm. The weather breaking after us. Hopefully I can get home in time. So,
You got a short ride home, though.
I do. I do. You know, it really is set up to be my world, Stick. But anybody out there, be safe. We know what it's all about, but just be cautious. Plus, Pistons are on TV tonight in Chicago.
Yeah, I'm right. Cuddle up by the fire, watch
cozy.
the Pistons take belt to ass tonight.
There it is.
Then
Another
afterwards,
one.
take off your belt and hit some ass.
You know,
tonight.
and just a little bit on that, because coming off of this one, you have to come out again, right?
Yeah.
If this
Just
everything we're
continue
talking
the
about
beatdown,
building the
right.
show, if they can lay 2 beatings on them back to back, you know,
It's a pride check for the Bulls, though, too, right? Like, if
It's
they,
gotta be. They were losing
if they
by
come
40.
out and get their throats punched again,
Yeah, they were losing by more than 40 points at one point last night. You can't repeat that.
it's like the St. Mary's Brother
tough
Rice
to
game
do,
I was
isn't it?
calling
Right.
last night. St. Mary's was up like 44-14 at one point. It was
Jesus.
It was a beatdown of epic proportions. But nonetheless, Tammy Chin said she had 2 flags on her car. Chuck Brewer said, I had flags on my flags at one point. And that's what I want to see. Like, God,
Flags on my flag.
I'm still a little disappointed the Lions didn't make the Super Bowl. I mean, just because of the vibe that the city would have been in, like how crazy and just like for that divisional round. Like I said, I walked into the Milford Bakery, and this lady comes in and buys 20 cookies at $5 a piece.
Jesus.
And it's like, damn, people are dropping $100 on sugar cookies just for the Lions this week. And then next week, walk in there, nothing Lions
Stick,
related.
I came to the conclusion it was Gilly's fault.
It was Gilly? No.
It was Gilly's.
I mean, if we want to be superstitious,
I'm just saying.
we did change up what we did, but
The atmosphere wasn't the same. I mean, shout out, hey, social, you know, every time we out there, I got to plug my boy. But
I
every
don't
time
know.
we was out there, the vibes was good.
we
So,
got to give Gillies another run, and I think we're going to be there for opening day as well. So
well, shout out.
we'll find out opening day, right? And if it happens twice in a row, then it's a trend.
Yes.
Once we can't really blame them. They were so great to us.
They were great
Plus,
to
it's
us.
an awesome spot.
Yeah.
Spenny had a good time. I know
did.
Spenny had a
It was a lot of fun.
So we're talking about the Pistons and how they're on a roll. One main reason for that, really, the guy that Spencer is super high on right now, right? Like to the point where you and Easy were trashing Jaden Ivey.
No, it's
Yeah,
not what
get on them,
happened
Stick.
at all.
Goddamn.
don't-
All I said is I just wanted them to be the 6th man in the preseason. but
Literally,
they talk
fucking
about trading
nobody
them.
agreed with him. It was just easy saying it.
Okay,
It was
well,
just
I take
easy
It was
saying
just
it?
easy
Okay.
saying it.
Well,
So
and
don't
this is
fucking
guilt-
say
Smitty
shit like
excluded.
that.
Get
This
on-
is
get
guilt
on
by
Easy.
association, and I'm sorry, Spencer. I saw the clip, and I was like, oh, man.
Shit's fucking annoying.
Here we go again. But Malik Beasley, let's talk about the positivity of this. Malik Beasley, you put the question in here, Spencer, and let's put it in the chat, too, if you want to throw up a poll. Is Malik Beasley the best Pistons free agent signing ever?
It's arguable.
I mean, it's only been half a season.
Yeah.
But dude set the record for three-pointers for the Pistons last night already. He's put up 40-point games. I saw a great tweet that Malik Beasley is everything Ben Gordon was supposed to be.
Yes.
I forget who said that.
No, that's a fact.
But I thought it was a dead-on comparison of what we thought we were going to get when they signed Ben Gordon and Charlie Villanueva, when Ben Gordon came off that incredible series for the Bulls against the Celtics. But that was the apex of his career. Malik Beasley, 7th in three-pointer tonight against 3-pointers against Chicago, is his 212th of the season, which sets a new Detroit Pistons single-season record set by Sadiq Bey not too long ago. Beasley is the 6th player in NBA history with 200-plus three-pointers made in 4 consecutive seasons. The boy can shoot.
Yeah.
And what were we saying last year that the Pistons desperately needed?
Shooting.
They had nobody that could shoot the basketball.
Well, we thought Bogdanovich was that guy, right? Like he was
supposed to be
guy, and you look at what you have now. What was he, Beasley? 7 for 10 last night?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, he's like, is he as automatic as anybody in the league? And I know when we think of three-pointers, it always goes back to Steph Curry and stuff like this, but the consistency of when they need it too, right?
Yeah.
They're just like, it seems like they're just daggers. They're not just what used to happen in the past, right? We'd be down 40. We'd be down 30, and then somebody would go rip off 5 threes, so you'd be down, so you lose by 15,
You're
right?
right.
And you look at the score sheet and go, he gave his effort. No, instead now, look at when they're happening. Look at how integral a part of this team is. Look at when Cade Cunningham doesn't play, Malik Beasley, boom, in the starting lineup. I don't know. That's building a team right in front of your eyes with all the assets, and everybody embraces their role.
And Malik Beasley is currently 2nd in the NBA in made threes behind only Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, he was leading the league at one point, but I don't know because I'm seeing a lot of names in here, and I thought Rasheed Wallace was a trade. I didn't think
he was a trade.
Yeah. Okay,
he was a mid-season trade.
I see people saying
No, he started out the season in Portland and got traded to Atlanta.
Yeah, I thought
played
so.
1 game for Atlanta. I think he put up like 20 points, and he came and played for us.
I am seeing Chauncey Billups though, and Chauncey. That's one where it's like, all right, they won a championship with him. We all know what Mr. Big Shot did for this team. That's kind of a hard one to displace if you're talking about Malik Beasley. But Stick, you was around.
I'm looking at GiveMeSport.com, and they have a list of the top 5 Pistons free agent signings, but this was from last year, not including Malik Beasley.
Okay.
But we can try to squeeze Malik Beasley in this list. Number 5, Jeremy Grant. Beasley above or below Jeremy Grant?
He's above.
Above Jeremy Grant?
And he was a solid free agent, too.
Yeah, he was a solid free agent. Number 4, this was a good signing back in the day, Terry Mills. Terry Mills in 1992, he signed a 5-year, $10 million contract.
Yeah, I think Beasley's above.
5-year, $10 million
That's
contract.
That's another thing is you have to factor in the Malik Beasley signed a $6 million contract in today's NBA. A 1-year, $6 million contract for a guy who is 2nd in the league in threes made.
Right.
This one, I wish Terry Foster was here because he may be able to help us out. ML Carr in 1976. I'm ignorant to ML Carr, so
you lost me.
I don't know. I mean, he had 14 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, so defensive stopper.
Pretty good.
Number 2, a guy that broke my heart that the Pistons could not get this guy a championship. When they signed him as a free agent, I thought, okay, they can do it again. Antonio McDyess.
Yes, McDyess, yeah.
I like McDyess a lot.
McDiggity dice.
Dude, that baseline jumper that he had, and
money.
They signed him because Mehmet Okur left after the championship, and they needed another big to fill that off the bench spot. And then number 1, obviously, Chauncey Billups, 5 years, $35 million. It bounced around the league a little bit and ended up winning Finals MVP and an NBA championship for the Detroit Pistons. So, where on that list do you put? You can't put him above Chauncey. You just can't.
I don't think you can. But
everybody else, and we could have the debate.
Top 3, I think, is right there. You can make an argument about McDyess because he did contribute to a playoff and finals.
They went to the
team.
finals.
They went to the finals. They didn't win, but. I think he's right in that top 3.
I think he's easily number 2. I mean, you look at what he's doing for this team. Like I said, 2nd in the league in three-pointers made in today's league. He signed a 1-year, $6 million contract. He is the best free agent signing of the NBA offseason, and it's not close. The amount of money that you paid him for the impact he's giving you, I would put him number 2. You're right. You can't put him above Chauncey.
No.
But I'd put him number 2.
I mean, if they win a championship and he gets an MVP, maybe
Yeah,
maybe he's in the conversation.
Yeah, that's different.
If
But
he does
that's
that, then they're number one.
That's a really high bar. But that just goes to show too that the Pistons really haven't had a ton of impactful free agents. I mean,
That's
we went
an
back to
area-
1976 for ML Carr.
Yeah, that's the area they've always struggled in is free agent signings. Trades have been, so-so for them. We've hit on some trades, but
Oh yeah, no. I mean, the trade of Stackhouse and the trade of Grant Hill was what propelled them to that championship.
but without Chauncey, like, where the fuck would we be in terms of free agent signings? Like, it's pretty bad.
that would be it, man.
Yeah, it's
like
pretty fucking
Antonio
bad.
McDyess would be your best free agent signing of all time.
Pretty fucking bad.
But I think that goes to show that now Detroit's a desirable location to play,
Yeah.
right? Like that. All that indicates to me is that players didn't want to give up and pick us over another team.
I brought this up, and it's so specific that we're talking about the exact individual in Malik Beasley. How many times do you hear a guy going to the GM before the trade deadline and going, "Don't trade me"? Do you think they could have got something from Malik
yeah. Oh,
Beasley out
absolutely.
on the market being?
Every
This guy,
playoff team
whatever,
needs that.
everybody came call. So that tells you it's different too. That they have plans for this guy, but like everything you're seeing, you're reading. Because in the past, what would have happened, Stick? In the past, any other Pistons team, he's down the road, and we got okay, you got a couple second rounders and
Right.
whatever like this, but it's just he's moving on down the road. This was just a stop. Right on the no, now it's a destination, and I think that even more. You said that. Now this is a place, and with Trajan Langdon, like right out of the rip, being able to make moves like this, Spenny, you nailed it. It's a 1-year deal. At what, $6 million?
$6
Yeah.
million.
And he very easily, like you said, could have just taken the bag like everybody else who's rolled through this city has done and then moved on to a champion. I want to go shoot in the corners, three-pointers for the Lakers. Like
Right.
that, I'm going to play the third string there. But no, I mean, the fact that you said he went into Trajan Langdon, but I also respect Trajan Langdon's response to him saying, I want to be here. It's like, yeah, we want you here too, but if I get an offer, man,
No, which
it's
is what is he
business,
not
baby.
supposed to say? But
That's how men have conversations,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
He wasn't bullshitting him. He wasn't
No.
trying to play him. He was like, listen, I want you here, but
Yeah.
also understand you have value to us down the road, and we may have to trade you if we get a spectacular offer. And I just love that there's that open candidness between management and players, because when you have that type of communication, the sky's the limit. Planet Fitness. You want to get in shape? You want to shoot threes like Malik Beasley? You know he's hitting the gym. You know he's hitting the weights. And you know what? Planet Fitness weights weigh the same as every other gym on the planet. It's crazy. Put them on a scale and test it. 50 pounds at Planet Fitness, 50 pounds at any other gym. I promise you. They got 50 Metro Detroit locations, and they got them all over the U.S. So if you're traveling like Neil Rule, you know he's hitting his run today at a Planet Fitness in Indy. Go sign up today.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
At Lady Jane's, we take the chore out of getting a haircut. Our talented stylist will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule today. He will be back on Friday because we're assuming he's not going to be able to drive back in the snow tomorrow and get here by 11 a.m. So Sean will be in tomorrow with you, D-Mac. Darren McCarty to my left. KG is in here. Chase is in here. Spencer is in here. You know, during that last conversation, actually during the break, I just want to publicly apologize to one man in particular, and the slander that this guy gets still to this day just irks me. But we're looking at the best free agent signings of all time. Antonio McDyess, Chauncey Billups are your top two. And then in the chat, you're seeing, oh, well, how'd we get Rip? Well, it was through a trade. Oh, how'd we get Ben? Well, it was through a trade. One man did all of that. One man did all those trades. One man got the best free agents ever in the history of the Pistons to come to Detroit. And one man delivered you a championship. And one man was on the other two championships. But yet in this town, people want to disrespect his name because of Ben Gordon and Charlie Villanueva, Darko. Fine. You want to point to those three players? I just pointed to two franchise players that they got free agent, then talk about all the trades, then talk about Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince drafting him. I mean, it's disgusting to me that Joe Dumars gets the hate he does in this city. Was the ending not as good as we all hoped for? Of course. What does Neil Rule say? All things end badly or they wouldn't end. Yeah. And that's exactly what happened with Joe Dumars. But the fact that that man doesn't even like coming back to this city after the way he was treated on his way out is ridiculous. And anybody who shames Joe Dumars knows nothing about basketball and clearly knows nothing about Pistons history.
Yeah, are people still doing that? That's still a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Disrespecting Joe Dumars?
Oh, yeah, I hear it all. Oh, he signed Charlie Villanueva. He wasted all the money. And they don't understand the context of Bill Davidson dying. They don't understand the context of this isn't a free agent destination, and Joe Dumars spent all his money the year before. Bosh, Wade, LeBron, and all those guys went out, and nobody else got him besides the Miami Heat. So it's not like he was saving money to go get Chris Bosh, which you couldn't have gotten anyway.
Right.
So he went and got the best players from the free agent class before, who ended up being duds. Did you expect Ben Gordon to shit the bed like he did after that performance he had against the Celtics in the playoffs? No. Yeah. You thought he was going to be knocking down jumpers for us. He was going to be the new Rip Hamilton with range, right? That's what you thought out of him.
Doesn't it come back to Darko?
It does. It does.
And you could say, but he drafted Darko and they won a championship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So which is saying that piece to the puzzle, right, didn't need, and spending that would have been your guy, right?
Yeah.
Carmelo.
Yeah.
So, but if you have Carmelo, it probably disrupts the flow and the
changes
rotation.
The locker room.
I don't think it does.
No.
Everybody on that team said they'd be better with Carmelo.
I get it, but
I understand.
I don't care what you say. It's that pick.
Yeah.
It's the Darko pick that out of the Ben Gordon, the Charlie V, because you can go back and talk about how Joe wasn't given the money or whatever. It's that pick, and why that pick was made is why it's such a dark spot. And you know what? When you use the analogies of former greats in this town or whatever, like that's the thing that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna allow it. At least I won't be here. If that's where you tried, people were leaning that way with Yzerman. Go fuck yourself, all you. No, seriously, because you see the way it is, and he might have more control. But that will never, ever happen because of the greatness of what it is. And Stick, you nailed it. The thing is that like Joe Dumars doesn't even want to be around here,
and that's tragic.
And that's a tragedy.
Yeah,
that's a tragedy, especially for all of us. So like
he deserves to have flowers thrown at his feet no matter where he walks.
People
in the city. He was a part of 3 championships.
Here's the thing.
3.
Here's the thing to his detriment, right? Where Joe Dumars is such a class individual that you can have all your speculation and you can talk to your buddies and say this is what happened. You'll never know because the man will never tell you exactly what went down, right? If I was in that room, I'm out here telling you exactly, putting whoever else accountability. Joe Dumars is will walk away. And those guys those greats, those Hall of Famers, the top, it's just, you know what? Not even worth it. And it is sad, Stick.
Honestly,
in a little bit, and hopefully
it's
maybe,
one of the saddest
maybe
sports
as
stories.
we get better, because here's the one thing too. Also, think about it. There's no reason for anybody to give a shit about the organization to want to do deep dive and to say, hey, you know what? Maybe I was a little bit wrong, because they stink. Now, the fact that they're getting better, and it's something where it's like, oh, they're playing the right way. This Pistons team, because what do we always do? When you always, this is going to be good now. Let's go back into history and see how we got here. So maybe when we do that and get the facts on the table, he's responsible for being in the position, but not responsible to the extent of people think that he blew up the whole, like it wasn't his total responsibility because he was handcuffed. Listen to Terry Foster talk about it. Like, that's just the reality of it, and it's just
and let's be honest. Bill Davidson was one of the best owners in any sport of all time. Period. Losing that man as the head of the snake.
Isn't it? What happened? The opposite of what happened with the Lions. Instead of getting Martha and the Fords out and bringing Sheila in, who was Bill Davison-esque, right? You went from Davison to the kids to didn't give a shit or whatever. It was like the reverse that went back to the Ford family.
It's very similar to what people are feeling about Illich. You know, as soon as Mike left, it hasn't been operating at the same elite level. And
fair enough.
And that's, it's not a knock on the kids either, because Mike Illich's passion and, Bill Davidson's passion was to build that franchise. Kids grow up with different aspirations than their parents. Yep. Like a lot of kids don't even want to deal with what their parents do for a living. So I don't necessarily blame the kids, but it is your responsibility to deliver a winner. And you got to do it, right? If you're the man, be the man. And right now, those kids need to step up and sign Alex Bregman. Outside of that, that's all we need to do. Let's take a break. When we come back, we got lots more to talk about, especially some Red Wings hockey with legend Darren McCarty. But first, let me tell you about Les Stanford.
It's the Les Stanford Sign and Drive sale. Get the 2024 Envision for only $239 per month, or try out the 2025 Sierra Crew Cab Elevation for only $249 per month. Don't forget about the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for only $789 per month. Zero security deposit, zero due at signing, zero first payment, zero acquisition fee. Get to Les Stanford today and check out their massive inventory at the Sign and Drive sale. Les Stanford Buick and GMC. LesStanford.com. Together, let's drive.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Head to WoodwardSports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. WoodwardSports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at WoodwardSports.com. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
Let me give you a little history lesson. Back in the day of the Coliseum, when you see a man fight a bear, or they bring a shark out of the ocean to fight a walrus or whatever, it was going down in the Coliseum, and Caesar was sitting there on his phone betting live with his own sports book. And you can bet on the sports book that Caesar did too. $1,000 as a bonus bet if your first bet loses. Make sure when you sign up, you use code word Woodward1000. Use the app that Caesar used, Caesar Sportsbook. Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. He will be back on Friday. Sean Belesian is in tomorrow. Darren McCarty is here. KG is here. Chase is here. Spencer Raxter is here, rocking the Red Wings hat. I like that hat too, man. Is that a new one?
Yeah, just got it. Fits my head.
Where'd you get it?
I think Mitchell and Ness.com. Yeah, size 8 fitted. So.
You wear a size 8 fitted?
Big ass head.
Yeah.
I've worn the same fitted hat size since I was 12 years old.
Really?
My head has not grown since I was 12. I was just a big-headed 12-year-old walking around, apparently.
That explains something.
Yeah, 7 1/8.
Yeah.
7 1/8.
I wore 7 3/4 in middle school, and now it's an 8.
What? Well, you got dreads. You can't even wear a fitted right now.
Not like I used to. But I think I was 7 3/4 at one
7
point.
3/4. What about you, Chase? Oh, your mic's over here, but with the hair. You got to get one of those hats where the holes in the back and you can pull your ponytail through. Yeah. Yeah, 7 1/8. 7 1/4 if I want to be super comfy.
Yeah.
I'm just shy of 8.
Just shy of 8.
I could wear an 8. I could wear 8. It's a little heavy, so it's
My dad had a noggin, man. He was 8 1/4. It was, dude had a.
Dude, I got 2 grandbabies
and
with
a quarter.
some pumpkins, bro.
Yeah,
like boy and girl, and it's like, man, I have to get the hats. That's why big hat people like to wear these warm ones.
Yep. D-Mac, talking about the Red Wings staying hot through the break. When you guys were on a hot streak, when you were playing, what do? Do you kind of keep the same routine? Do you get up at the same time, hit the gym the same, or do you use this time? How do you do it?
You got it. So, what's the break, right? So usually come down to All-Star break, and you'd get like 4 days or 5 days or whatever like that, and you were gonna use it as you got to go get some sun because you need some vitamin D. You're probably gonna go at it for a couple days, right? Just to blow some steam off and whatever like that. So if you're not part of the festivities, you're going to go south somewhere, or maybe end up in Vegas, or you might go golf. It's just to get away, right? You're going to take the family. It's like halfway through. Some guys go to Disney World or do whatever else. You're going to get away from hockey. And that's what the mandate is, what the coach is going to tell you. Now and it's going to be ready to work when you come back. Now, it's also, too, now today's day and age, Stick, is that, yeah, the boys will go out, get their workout in the morning. You'll do some of your maintenance stuff, right? But you're going to take advantage and know, like, that's, for example, today is Wednesday, and you don't report back till when? Next Wednesday? Let's say like that. So you're, flying out today. Hopefully you're beating the weather. Whatever, maybe you were out last night. You're going to get into where you're going to go, and you're going to enjoy it for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday maybe might be the last day, might be coming back. You're probably going to come back a few days early just to be able, especially if you have family. But you're going to ease into it. The difference is also, too, being a younger team is the focus.
Okay.
Right? Is the focus. Now, a lot of times, too, because you're a younger team, because guys are single, stuff like that, they'll go away together. So that's also good team bonding and stuff like this. So I look at it where the focus is, and they'll be hungry to come back. Also, too, I think he bag skated him after the Tampa game. Like he made him practice. You know what I'm saying?
After the game?
There's a legitimacy to that they know, accountability-wise. Go have your fun. Go have your beers. Go treat your ladies. Go do it. You've earned it, but be back ready to work. And it's that focus.
Was there ever an All-Star break where you just went wild, like went to Vegas for 6 days?
Every All-Star break except when I was in the hospitals getting to, like, I've had hand surgery during the All-Star game. I've had like 3 All-Star breaks I missed because I had to get surgery done during it. So it was here. But yeah, no, you'll go. And it's a little different back in our day too.
There's no cell phones.
Right. No cell phone or whatever.
You could escape.
But a lot of, like, where I would usually go is, like, yeah, it'd be like Vegas or Arizona. Like, be somewhere. We go golfing.
Okay.
We somewhere have to.
Who would you run with? Who's in your crew?
Drapes and Ozzy and a lot of times we did a lot of trips after the year, but all the younger guys, like the Dandenos and the Wards and the stuff like that. So we did a lot of different things, together at different times. But it was fun, and then that's more accountability too when you do it together.
Right.
So it's either it'd be it's 2 ways, right? You're either going to Disney, you're either going with the family, right? You're going to take the kids, you're going to do something where it's
or you're going
and
on
everybody
spring
knows
break
that's not
99 Panama City. Let's go.
That's not much of a vacation and stuff like this, but the other guys be together, and when you're together, you hold each other account. It's not only safety but accountability. But they'll be ready to go because. Coach is going to be sitting there. Like, Like, and it's different nowadays. Like, you don't got to put tethers on guys or beepers on guys, or to figure out that they'll be back in time.
Do you think the athletes of today are a little bit more professional just because of the accountability of the public eye?
Because of the phones, because of what they can't do. They got to do it more.
Well, and there's a lot more money on the line
private.
too.
Right, and the training and the way that the lifestyles are different. I mean, it's different than 30 years ago. Yeah, I ain't smoking a pack of darts at the blackjack table, like.
God, I would love to go to Vegas with 1997 D-Mac.
Good times.
Good times. I'd love to go to Vegas with you now,
Yeah,
but flashback to that too.
Now.
Oh, yeah. No.
Just not 1990s fun.
But if you were to give this team some advice, like if they brought you in the locker room and they were like, all right, we got this time off, how do we keep the momentum? What's the one thing you'd tell them?
And I think here's the big thing. Blow it out, boys. I mean, you've earned it. For like 3 days. You got 3 days.
Love it.
And go do what it is. And then when you get back in town or whatever you're going to do, it's back to work. And it's responsibility and accountability, right? That always goes down to, does the guy next to you more important to you than you are to yourself? Because you hold yourself accountable to the rest of the guys that you have a task at hand. And now, and it's a little bit different too, Stick, than it was in years past for this hockey team, because you right now, right on the wild card. And this good second half puts you in the playoffs for the first time in fucking forever.
Yeah, and that's where I was going to go with it next, because sometimes could this have the reverse effect too? If you're on a team that's kind of sluggish and you're not really enjoying the season, you get away from them, and then you're just like you completely check out because the season's already over.
You see that in other teams. Like, let's watch that in the bottom feeders. That's where you get it, but it's not like. But we got to remember, these are the professional sports. Right, and so the guys, are fighting for $1 million paycheck.
Detroit's finest with the super chat. Thank you for that. Make sure you get your super chats in to skip the line and make sure it gets read. Thanks, D-Mac, for the memories. I remember running down the street on Werner with the American flag draped around my neck in just my underwear as a 10-year-old. I will never forget it. Thanks, D-Mac. And isn't that probably the coolest part about being a player? I know it's a weird statement, but providing people with memories. Whenever I meet athletes and I admire them, that's the first compliment I give them, because it's like, thank you for providing me the moment I had with my dad when we got to celebrate together. Thank you for providing me with a trip to the World Series. Those are things that are ingrained in my brain and moments that I'll never forget, and that's what I thank athletes for.
Dude, you just nailed the mission statement to why I travel the state, whether doing everything but the comedy tour and whatever. I was in K-Pac. It's the people. And I realized that, like you said, is that in this city, I'm part of memories.
Yeah.
So what I do is when I show up is I'm able to replay in your memory bank, stories, things, and that, and bring people up. Right, that's the best part where I've realized, and I've
just when you brought Matthew Dandenol's name up
to tell the stories, but I know the connection with people, whether and a lot of it is people we've lost. So you get to go back and remember, all this time, or running in your underwear, if it was your grandparents or whoever introduced you to it. So I cherish that. That is something that means a lot to be able to have that. But that's why I love that connection, because I know where I was. I don't know where you were, right? But everybody else, there's 20,000 Stick.
But that's what makes it special.
20,000. That's what makes it fucking
the shared
best.
moment. You had your moment, but I had my moment because of your moment.
And we shared it, and that's what connects
right.
us, and that's what makes it great. 20,000 people in Joe Louis Arena, yet I swear there's been 80,000 people telling me they've been there on March 26th.
Isn't that how it goes? I caught a fish this big.
I've been to March 26, 97 live in the Big House.
I was at that game.
It's awesome. But we all have memories, and that's the connection. And if you nurture that and you appreciate that, like I do, I want to know, because that's what makes us, because I'm always eager to see. I know that everybody tells us why we're different, but I disagree. I want to show you why we're more alike.
So then let me flip it on you. Before you were a professional athlete, what was your moment that stood out to you sharing with a player that you may have come to meet later down the road, but just a moment you remember from your childhood?
Yeah. You know, there's, I think that one of the first ones was going to hockey school in Guelph, Ontario, Can-Am Hockey School, which I ended up going for like 10 years. But when I was like 8 years old or 9 years old, my counselor was Steve Chason. Steve Chason, former Detroit Red Wing and stuff like that I'd known. And actually my first year, and he's passed away, but I played with him on the Red Wings.
Okay.
So to be able to go to a hockey school with a couple guys and stuff like that. There's a guy that used to play for the Philadelphia Flyers named Tim Kerr, who was he was from Tecumseh and stuff like that. I went to a hockey clinic with him, stuff like that. My biggest flex up, what got me locked in, Stick, and anybody who knows, is my uncle and my cousin were the baggage guys at Windsor Airport when Detroit ever flew in the early 80s, mid 80s. So I was using like NHL sticks. They get me like Tim Higgins sticks, and since I was like 10 years old, so that was like the biggest flex. But anytime you get to run into your mentors, and then as it gets older, so the biggest one was, everybody who knows, is my two favorite athletes growing up, Lance Parrish and Rick Tocchet. And Rick Tocchet was in Paul Coffey's wedding, so it was the first time I got to meet him back in the early 90s, and be able to sit and talk with him and talk to your idol is pretty cool. So
Have you golfed with
That's
Parrish?
always a flex.
Have you golfed with Parrish?
Yeah, I see Lance all the time,
yeah.
bro. Like,
he's had a lot of outings.
I mean, we're boys now. Like, and that's, to me, like, inside flex, right? Is that, like, I can't believe it, because I got a baseball signed by him. After, like, we actually won. Like, I got him to sign me a baseball like 20 years ago.
That's cool, because you always wonder, like, who the stars are, right? Like, who's LeBron have a jersey hanging in his office? Like, who was his guy growing up? And I love those types of stories. And that's the beautiful part about sports. It just transcends generation to generation to generation. D-Mac, tell us about the Jars event me and you are going to be broadcasting from.
Stick. Woo! Two of the finest from Woodward. It could only happen with you and I, and skiers and snowboarders. What are we talking about? Get ready to send it on a 14-foot drop-in ramp with 3 custom features at the brand new Jars Utica location parking lot. When is this? Saturday, February 22nd from 1 to 5 p.m. Jam-style competition judged by 3 guest pros. $8,000 in cash prizes up for grabs. Are you in? Register. Go to jarscannabis.com/Jars Rail Jam to sign up. Open to skiers and snowboarders 21 plus. Limited to 50 participants, so make sure you call and get online and lock in your spot today. As Stick said, Stick and I will be doing a special broadcast from 2 to 4, so come on down. Spectators also welcome the event. Totally free, and you can even get free food with some Jars purchases. Live DJs, giveaways, Darren McCarty brand on site. Yes, my stuff will be there. So, Jars Cannabis, drop in, cash out. See you then.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network. Enough Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz next, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. And you know what? Wifey wants a new car. Looking at them, and we were looking at that Suburban out there on Monday when we were broadcasting, and it's a nice-looking vehicle. 3rd row seating because the family's getting bigger, got another dog, got another kid. We need to cram them all into one car. Feldman Chevrolet, ton of selection for you to choose from. They've hooked up Neil Rule. They've hooked up Flannel Sam. They can hook you up, too. Feldman Chevrolet and Novi. Make sure you head out there. All right, here we go. Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. I'm filling in for Neil Rule today. 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty to my left. KG, Chase, and Spencer are in here. And it's that time of the week, boys. The top 5 list.
Top five.
Spenny, explain this list and how it came to be.
So me and D-Mac were texting last night. We have a menagerie of lists that will be available if Neil isn't here, that Neil won't let us do if he's here. So we were deciding which ones we wanted to do, and there's, porn stars, weed strains, TV shows, stuff like that. And we ended up going with top 5 animals you think you could beat in a fight. And I'm well versed in this topic. I've had plenty of debates with my friends and on the show about different animals that I think I could or could not beat in a fight.
How many animals have you actually fought?
I've fought a couple. I fought a possum before.
A possum?
Yeah, it attacked my friend, so I kicked it.
Holy shit.
A possum attacked?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Must have been rabid.
Yeah, it attacked my boy, so we took care of it. And then I also fought a bird at well, I didn't fight it, but it was a big-ass bird at the Detroit Zoo. Came up and pecked me, and my brother kicked it, and we ran away when I was a little kid.
The bird show.
Yeah, it was. I've squabbled up with a couple animals before. But my top 5 list, I did ranking. Like number 1 is the one I think that's the toughest animal I would beat in a fight. Like level of difficulty.
See, I interpreted this list completely different.
It's that
mine are ones I know I could kick the shit out of.
This is the best part about the top 5 list.
Yeah.
It's all through interpretation.
Yes.
It's all your interpretation. So, Spenny.
Oh, God.
Yeah, okay, so my top 5 list, and again, like I said, number 1 is the highest level of difficulty. And number 4, I've got a coyote. Everybody can beat a coyote. Coyotes are
not
little.
Everybody.
Everybody in this room could beat a coyote. They're little. They're scrawny. They're angry. They're like little dogs. And you should be able to easily beat a coyote. Number 4, flock of geese.
Flock.
The flock of geese. You grab two
Geese
of
is
them.
a good word.
Grab 2 of them by the neck. Start swinging them around.
Number 3.
Now they are aggressive, so that's why they're on the difficult scale. And number 3,
multiple beavers.
Multiple beavers.
What kind of beavers?
Why waste your time with one? Give me a whole bunch.
One beaver, that'd be easy. Multiple beavers, that's where it
You
gets a
beat
little
up one
tricky.
beaver all the time.
Wait,
what type of beaver?
what's the number where it gets a
I
little
would say
too much?
3. Once you get past 3, then it's a little
Beavers
aggressive.
are fucking big,
Well, you
man.
go from man to man to zone, right? Like,
they're organized. They know how to build.
Yeah.
Like they're aggressive.
They're gonna take your leg.
Part
and
of
build
what
a
makes
dam.
the beaver so like if it takes you into the wetlands, like they build those dams to protect themselves from predators.
you
They're
can hit
much
'em with the
faster in the
stick.
water.
Yeah.
They're much faster in the water.
better use the stick.
And number 2, I've got emu. I think emu is the largest level
Those
of
things are
bird.
huge.
Dude,
They're not
Australia,
as big.
Australia,
they're not ostriches. but
Australia went to war with emus
Yes.
and lost.
And they lost.
And they lost.
Yes.
Wow,
Like,
it's Australia.
It's Australia, and
Y'all hate Eastern Michigan that
this is a
much?
one-on-one fight. This is a one-on-one fight. Emu, they're big, but they're not that big. And then at number 1, I've got wolf. This is a debate I've had with all of my friends, and I've convinced multiple of them in a one-on-one fight. Every single human has a distinct advantage over a wolf because they are pack hunters, and if you eliminate one of their legs, they are at a crippling disadvantage.
Oh, shit.
So,
Justin Station, a beaver would be crazy.
a beaver would be fun. Multiple beavers, like I said.
Multiple beavers.
Dude, I thought it was a freaking Friday night
I
at
can
Coonan that
do
he
a
was
whole
talking
segment
about.
about the wolf fight, and I have before on heavyweights. We've talked about it, but yeah.
An important distinction: shaved or unshaved beavers.
Unshaved. Always.
Unshaved.
Yeah, all
Okay.
natural, baby.
They're a little
natural.
harder to get your hands on if they're shaved. They're a lot more
Yeah, I
slick.
feel you.
Different.
I don't mind that shit.
Yep. And coyotes, like, we could do this as you can turn in ears of coyotes to get money.
Nah,
like
yeah.
I think it's every ear of a coyote you turn in is worth. I think it's like $25. Because they're ravaging deer populations and stuff like that. So we can go out there, we can take care of some coyotes and make some money while doing it.
$50 a coyote.
That's what I'm saying.
Philly in the chat. I had to fight a beaver before. It attacked our boat.
There you go.
There you go.
shit.
So
They're
Philly's got
aggressive.
experience.
Beaver
Maybe he can give you some tips.
Some pointers, yeah, I'd appreciate
beaver
that.
attack.
Pat D. Badger would give you a run.
Badger, yeah, honey. But see, I'm not like I understand some pushback with the wolf when people talk about it, but there are a list of reasons why every single human should be able to beat a wolf in a one-on-one combat. Again, I'm not going to get into that. It's a one-on-one
It's
fight.
science.
It's a one-on-one fight. It won't know what to do. They're pack hunters. And I'm not like stupid. Like I'm not going to say a jaguar or a puma.
No,
or,
of course
or something
not.
like that.
Just
That's
coyotes and wolves. Yeah. No.
You're right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big cats, you don't mess with big cats. That's just.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah.
All right, KG, what are your top 5?
Hold on, Chase didn't have a list?
No, Chase got one.
Oh, Chase had a list?
Chase
I didn't
had a
know.
list.
I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Chase.
you're All right.
A human.
Oh yeah, D-Mac, you'll like that. I was playing pond hockey with my buddy, and there's no sporting goods stores in Mount Pleasant, so we bought a medallion steak, and we just used the medallion steak on the pond.
Nice.
Little
Oh,
puck
tell
steak.
me you grilled it up after.
Yeah. Oh yeah, tender, nice and tender.
Nice. Hey, you know what? You could use whatever you need.
Number 5, we got a swan. I think swans are overrated. Just grab it by the neck, and then it's like, what's it gonna do? Same
For
with like
sure.
the geese.
100%.
Number 4, I tried to like encompass like all the different like categories.
As you always do.
Right.
The Chinese giant salamander.
Oh, yeah.
It's about like a 4-foot creature.
Those things are pretty big.
Yeah, they're pretty big. They're kind of heavy too, but I mean, I think I don't think
you could stomp one of those
it's got
out.
no teeth, so
Yeah.
it's got no chance.
I agree.
Number 3 is sea turtle. Outside of the shell, what's it gonna do? Again,
Yeah.
and
It might snap at you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Snapping turtles.
That's not that's a snapping turtle, not a sea turtle.
Oh,
All right, is it on land or in the sea?
I'm imagining that we're being put. I imagine this is like the Coliseum, so they're like putting us in like a 20-foot.
Okay, yeah, on land they're slow.
Yeah.
It'd be tough. All you gotta do is flip it over.
Exactly.
Yeah, flip it over. And
Number 2, iguana.
Flip it over and slit its throat.
Reptiles are kind of freaky. I think this is like the largest
gonna kick
reptile
our ass.
I'd be willing to like handle.
Iguana?
Yeah, dude. Reptiles like iguanas, lizards, they're like literally just miniature dragons.
That's true.
So respect to those things. I think iguanas the largest. They like freeze in cold enough temperatures. So you have iguana warnings in Florida. So I think I could easily just take them out. I can handle the cold. Number 1, human. I used to give the nuts to my neighbor every once in a while. So it's like
To your neighbor?
yeah.
Just beat his neighbor's ass. Like, what?
You said every once in a while. How many times have you fought your neighbor?
I mean, growing up, he was a bit of a dick. He was a couple years older than me, and
Okay.
so he'd start some shit. And
How many times?
Yeah, you finished,
3 or 4.
Okay, all right.
Chase is
I thought this was like a
badass.
weekly occurrence.
Yeah,
Like, all right,
dude.
it's Tuesday, time to fuck up the neighbor.
No, there's always that kid growing up.
Yeah. They asked for it, and you answer.
You give it to him.
Holy shit. I tried to pick more achievable animals, but this is
my interpretation of this is gonna crack you guys up.
Yeah, but at number 5, I have the koala bear. I mean,
Koalas are little assholes, dude.
They're vicious,
they are.
bro.
Yeah. But I could beat one in a
I
fight.
think you
I
can
feel
too.
like it.
I think you
But I
can
would
too.
feel bad about it because they're so damn adorable. Number 4, a flamingo. All they do is fucking stand there. If I catch that motherfucker at the right angle and I could just bow, right?
Sweep the leg.
Yeah, just uppercut a
Sweep
flamingo.
the leg, Johnny. Sweep the leg.
He's standing on one leg. KG just comes in and
Right,
scissor kicks it.
For sure. Number 3, a sloth. But I mean, they slow as fuck, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, the claws is something you got to worry about, but they so fucking slow, it don't matter. I can punt the shit out of a sloth. And speaking of punting, number 2, a cat. I will square
House
up,
cat?
Yes, I will square up with any cat. Of course, no big cats.
No big
That's
cats.
just unrealistic. But any house cat can get this work, including the other cat that is unsung on this show. And number 1, a snake. If I get behind the snake, I feel like I got a chance.
There you go.
Yeah.
What kind of snake?
Not a
though?
venomous snake. Just a regular snake.
Yeah, or
just
an
a regular
anaconda or something like that.
Yeah.
Mike G in the chat. Sloth got no chance.
We had no.
You'll hit him with the 3-piece combo before he even gets his guard up.
we have a debate on heavyweights of how many waves of cats could you fight off if it keeps going up. Like the first one's 1, and then the next one's 2, the next one's 3, and 4 and 5.
Oh shit!
And yeah, I think the consensus is somewhere in the teens.
TJ Lang posted one of these on his Twitter last week, and it was I responded, but I'll share it with you guys. But it was an interesting. It was like 10,000 rats, 50,000 birds, 5 alligators. Who would you take? You could take 2 to defend against the others.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting take. D-Mac.
All right, let's go. What do I got here?
What do I got here?
All right, I can do that.
We got picture of them beating up turtles. So there
That's
you go,
it.
Chase.
We've already proved. I did not put turtles up there because I've already proved that I own turtles. Turtles and me, they want no smoke out there. Chinchilla, I just wanted to say it. Plus, they're little.
Make you a nice coat.
They're like I could.
They have floating rib cages.
But I
Make
definitely
a nice coat
could.
out of that.
A hyena. I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
Right? But to your point, penny pack animal or whatever, got to separate just one of them.
One
of them.
Yeah.
Again, sweep the legs big around
Now,
here.
if there's any animal I feel like D-Mac can beat, it's number 3.
Like, let's leg load it up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now you gotta watch out for the double
Did I
kick
believe
right
you
now.
actually beat-
You gotta, be wary of the double kick, the kangaroo kick, and stuff like that. I don't have that move. They call it shotgun drop kick. Is actually what it is in wrestling. So you have that, but you see him box it up. I mean, I'd be willing.
That's a pay-per-view right
for
there.
sitting all over the golf course. I grab one of those. You know they're Canadian, they're brethren. They show up. Grab one like
They
that.
shit everywhere, dude.
And number 1, a rat. Most specifically, the biggest one, Brad Marchand. Sorry, Tammy, but I could beat the fuck out of him.
There we go. Beautiful list.
Darren McCarty, there you are with the turtle right there.
It's a great list.
All right, last top 5 list, and thank you guys for participating in the chat as well. Here's mine. Like I said, I took this a little more literal of like things I know I could just walk in the room and end in 5 seconds.
That's fair.
This picture is hilarious.
Oh, that's me with 2 queens in the pool, baby.
Yeah, I see
Well,
you.
we don't discriminate.
Ebony and Ivory.
Black and white, I see you.
Number 5, a gardener snake. They don't even have teeth,
Yeah.
right? You could just pick that thing up and whip it around, or maybe just rip it apart. I did that when I was a youth. Not a psychopath, but either way, a turtle. I was thinking about sea turtle, but they're huge, man.
pretty big.
And on land, those things weigh like 700 pounds. Flipping that over, I was thinking about it. It'd be tougher. So this is just your average red-eared slider that you find in a pond.
Okay.
Just
Just
pick that
give it
little
a
bitch up,
punt.
like I'd
Yeah.
skip it and like a stone across. The sloth, we already discussed it. Too slow. Doesn't have hands. I'm gonna combo it up before it even gets. Goose. I think we all just hate geese.
I hate geese so much.
I didn't pick multiple though because one goose, grab that fucker by the neck and just start slamming him around.
You don't want a
this.
gaggle of geese.
And then last but not least, the fainting goat. I mean, how susceptible to an ass beating is a fainting goat? You walk up, you go, bah! It falls like this, and then you just punt that thing to the moon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fainting goat, you stand no chance. I don't want to hear it out of you.
That is fair.
And that is my top 5 of animals I could beat up.
It's a good list.
So, thank you guys for being a part of the top 5 in the chat. We do it every week here on Woodward Sports, Big D Energy. Where are we going? Mark White?
Yeah, I'll tell them about Mark White. If you're looking to buy or sell your home, Mark White should be your first choice. He'll give you up to $5,000, save you up to $5,000 to your closing costs. Visit him at markwhitesells.com or call him at 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com. Mark White will get you in your dream home.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season.
And take advantage of our $20 haircut special.
Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. I'm filling in for Neil Rule today. He's calling Oakland University basketball in Indiana and probably not going to make it back through the snow for tomorrow's show, so Sean Belesian will be filling in. We just did our top 5 of animals you could beat in a fight. If you guys got something that we didn't hit, drop it in the chat. We'll talk about it. And if you want to skip to the front of the line, make sure you hit that super chat. Darren McCarty in the building, KG, Chase, and of course Spencer. I don't even like reading this question, but I mean, you could argue it, right, Spencer?
Yeah, if there's one flaw.
If you want to make an argument, you could do that. Is Brad Holmes bad at drafting defensive linemen? Now, to ask this question...
That sounds worse when it's phrased like that.
Yeah.
I'm just reading
it's how it's said on the sheet, for sure.
I read, is Brad Holmes the worst ever? No.
Yeah, is he a terrible GM?
Right.
How about this? Is Brad Holmes' blind spot?
There it is.
Drafting defensive linemen. Now, Aiden Hutchinson, is this considered a given?
That's a layup. Yeah.
Okay, so we're not really considering that in this conversation,
agree,
right?
yeah.
We're talking about your Pascal, we're talking about your Ali McNeil, your Broderick Martins of the world.
McNeil for sure.
Those are the guys you're referring to.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's my answer to this, right? Because you have your guaranteed hits at that position, like your Jalen Carters that we passed on and stuff like that. And I think he's taken some risks, especially on a Josh Pascal. I think that's probably the biggest one you can point to as
second rounder.
Not exactly a swing and a miss, but also not exactly a home run.
Yeah,
right?
solid bloop single.
Right, but you needed more out of that draft spot, especially if you were trying to bookend Aiden Hutchinson early on in his career. If Pascal hit to even like a Zadarius Smith level, that would have looked like one of the greatest draft classes defensive-wise in a long time. Unfortunately, he didn't, and you're left with the players that we're discussing. D-Mac, do you feel that Brad Holmes has a blind spot with that specific position?
Yes, I don't like the word bad, and I would say blind spot. Or if you wanted to criticize Brad Holmes at all in his drafting, where would it be? And I think that it's more apparent because of what's fresh off our minds is what we watched Philadelphia and the reigning Super Bowl champions with the pressure and really like their defense and their speed. They didn't have to blitz because of their 4 guys. So then it comes down to I would go a little bit deeper is drafting these guys on the defensive line or whatever that have injuries not worked out, whereas other guys have.
Yeah.
So I don't think, like, if these guys are healthy that he drafted, and Kaminsky,
Kaminsky's another one.
Pascal,
he was a free agent.
All these other guys, it would mean something, right? And there's a couple, other misses.
Kaminsky was the guy that he added in free agency, which you like that because he was a nobody. He was a practice squad guy.
My question is, if these guys are healthy, right? Because most of the guys we're talking about got hurt, right? To whatever. If they were healthy, would they be an integral part of this team?
Yeah.
So does he have to change his mindset on injuries at that position that might mean something different? I don't know. That's where, if you're gonna dive into the weeds and dig deeper, but you also look at like how these other teams are built. Like their best guys up front are high draft choices.
High draft, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like you want to consider Aiden Hutchinson a slam dunk. Anybody chosen in the top 5 is a slam dunk, right?
When you look at the guys that he's drafted, obviously Aiden Hutchinson, he gets an A+++ for.
Right.
That was, he didn't even expect Aiden Hutchinson to be there. Nobody expected Aiden Hutchinson to survive the first pick.
Yeah.
But that's like giving Troy Weaver credit for drafting Cade Cunningham. Like it was the obvious choice. But
you was not picking Jalen Green there.
It was discussed.
I know the talk was there, but
there were like 5 guys in that draft that they were talking about.
Realistically, though, it was Cade.
Cade was the consensus number 1. But same with Aiden Hutchinson. He was the consensus number 1, except in Jacksonville, I guess.
Right. Small arms, though.
But small arm. But you look at the guys, Levi, Josh Pascal, Broderick Martin, Ali McNeil. Ali McNeil he hit on for sure. Ali McNeil is a great player. Josh Pascal is good. He's not great. He's good. you would want more out of him as a second-round pick. Broderick Martin has been nothing so far.
Did he draft Levi?
And he drafted Levi.
Yeah, and
too.
Levi had a history of injury before this year. So, and we don't know Mekhi Wingo yet.
We don't know Mekhi Wingo.
Yeah.
I think he'll be good.
Yeah.
Like if Mekhi Wingo comes out there and he plays a big role, and then Broderick Martin can play in games, it looks a lot better. But right now, Broderick Martin's a bust. Levi was a bust. You got Pascal. He's pretty good, but you would want more out of that second spot. But it's also hard. It's hard with these big guys, man. So, yeah, it's nitpicking at this point because you look at all the great things that Brad Holmes has done. But I think this draft is going to be a catalyst because I think we all expect him to get multiple defensive linemen in the draft this year.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But isn't it different now, right? Where now it's specifics. Like, I need to draft this player, this type of player. I need to fill this void. I mean, it's more apparent when we look at the Lions as a big picture where the voids are, and it's on the defensive line.
Yeah.
What hurt us, that pressure, stuff like this. So now you can focus in on that, and this will be the imperativeness of what is your number one.
Yeah.
Right?
And
So
you're
now
right,
you'll
D-Mac.
see, right, he's got to hit if it is, or if it's so-called, make that trade for it.
And you're right, D-Mac. The injuries played a huge factor of it to where if Mekhi Wingo was healthy, if John Kaminsky was healthy, if Lee McNeil stayed healthy, like that defensive line would have been, and obviously Aiden Hutchinson, that defensive line would have been so much better than it was last year. So that is definitely a part of it. But it's also, you'd like to see another top echelon talent getting drafted on that defensive line. And I think he will. I think he's going to grab somebody this year that you're going to bring in, probably a defensive end. There's a couple guys that I'm looking at that I think Brad is going to like in this draft that are going to play a big role in this.
I'm looking at the IDPshow.com, and they kind of broke down the last 5 years. I believe it was the first 2 rounds of positions and hit rate on that. So while we're discussing this, I want some context, right? Because if we're like, oh, Brad Holmes isn't hitting on everybody, he must not, this must be his blind spot. When you're looking at the stats, 10 of the 29 defensive ends drafted in the past 5 years in the first couple rounds are hits. So you're talking a 34% hit rate of defensive ends. 3 of those 10 were first-round selections.
Yeah.
So 3 of 30 were first-round selections that were hits.
What do they consider a hit?
10%.
What do they consider a hit? Is it Pro Bowl?
Just 10 good defensive ends drafted in the last 5 years. That's crazy. Yes, the hit percentage is high, but that's in part due to so few defensive ends were selected. One reason with the low total is linebackers and rushers coming out of college were prioritized, but also shows that we're not willing to take as many swings on a guy like a Drake Jackson or a George Karlaftis. This position is hard to play, and it takes time for young guys to develop. So I'm sure we revisited this article in 5 years, the hit rate would look different. But early on, good luck finding the next Max Crosby is the quote on this. And then you go to defensive tackle. 2 of 8 with a hit rate of 25%. None of those 2 were drafted in the first round. Only 2 defensive tackle I deemed as hit were Quinnen Williams in the 3rd round and Jeffrey Simons in the 5th round, both 2019 rookie draft.
That has to be an old article.
Jalen
Carter's a hit.
Must be an old article,
McNeil's
but no, 2023. So not super old. So that goes back to the 2018 draft. But that just shows how hard it is to hit in the draft in general.
No, definitely.
So, he hasn't hit on all the big-time guys and all of his picks, but I would still say Brad Holmes' hit rate in general as an aggregate over the course is larger than most, if not all, GMs.
Absolutely. Brad Holmes has really only missed on 2 or 3 picks out of his entire drafting tenure for the Detroit Lions. It's just that is what gets amplified because of the injuries and because you had, Pecco went down, Kaminsky went down, Aleem went down, Hutch went down. Like, all those guys were getting hurt, and that sucks. And unfortunately, Levi didn't play up to the caliber of a second-round draft pick. Unfortunately, Josh Pascal didn't play up to the caliber of a second-round draft pick. Unfortunately, Broderick Martin hasn't gotten on the field, and he was a third-round draft pick. Like, those are things you look at.
But, I mean, one way to fix that is to overhaul, and that is something Brad Holmes has done. A lot of people thought cornerback was a blind spot for him, and then this past season, you saw what he did. He did a complete overhaul of that room. So I think in terms of especially edge rusher, maybe not interior defensive line so much, but edge rusher, he can use an overhaul in that department because, like you said, Marcus Davenport, Josh Pascal is good, but we need more depth in that room, and we also need people that can go out there and put pressure on the quarterback starters. So.
Yeah, and I also think, we're lucky enough that Brad Holmes and that crew, they're smart enough to know this. I mean, if we're noticing it, believe me, they're working on it, and that's why they went out and got us a Darius Smith this year. Was that earth-shattering? No, but it was enough to be a stopgap when you lose your premier potential, defensive player of the year.
Well, isn't that, does that not count, right, for, improvement? You got to give a couple points because even though, you missed in the draft and we're critical, but he's trying to improve as he goes along. It's always organic. That's what I love. And I think great organizations, they're organic. They're like water, bro. They're flowing. They're flowing, and then they make a move. So that's why it's interesting because now you get into a position where we're in. Could we make a play for a guy like Myles Garrett? Absolutely. Could we wait? Is there a guy in the draft that maybe he's got an eye on? Absolutely. But it's the flow like water, and I like the fact that, it's not nobody's 100%.
Yep.
But what are you going to do when you miss? It's not when you make. You can always adjust when something positive happens.
Right.
It's when it doesn't, and that's what I love.
Well, something positive happening in your life, you need your bacchiotomy. There's one guy that can give it to you, and that is Dr. Pierce.
Absolutely. Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce here every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays, tomorrow during Ermanni and Edwards, where he always offers up top-notch injury advice, stuff that gets guys like me 4 Stanley Cups. Yeah, Doc was along for the ride. Dr. Jeff Pierce here to help keep you in the game performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you will.
David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody watching on Twitter, watching on YouTube, and Twitch. We're starting going back on Twitch. So if you got a Twitch, come over, subscribe to us. Let us know that you're there. Drop a comment. Spencer will say hi to you. Amik Robertson tweeting right now. Tweeted an hour ago, but it's in my timeline. This will be my best year of my NFL career. I'm claiming it. Good morning.
And I saw him put a picture of him getting his cast off, and he said full range of motion. We'll see what's next.
Beautiful.
It's so crazy how fast they can heal now from injuries and how quick they get back on the field. So wild to me. But speaking of the Lions, the schedule, that's the next thing we got to talk about. And one thing that a lot of people are rooting for is the Lions versus the Eagles to kick off the season. D-Mac, what do you think? You think the Lions should play the Eagles to begin the season? Is that something you'd want?
It doesn't matter.
Yep.
It goes back to
that's right.
It goes back to a few years ago playing KC off of their Super Bowl championship or whatever. You want the smoke, you better have it. Might as well. I mean, it doesn't matter. We all know that this year's probably not going to be a 15-2 year, but we know it's a playoff team. We battle for the North. So, yeah, I mean, I don't care how it is. You're going to get a tough schedule. So if that's the case, if that's what the NFL wants, that's what the NFL gets.
Our away schedule looks a lot tougher than our home schedule. Like when I'm looking at that home schedule, I'm like,
it's easy.
Well, of course, you went
home.
8-0 last year. They got to throw something in for you.
Yeah, well,
On
I mean,
the
they
road?
lost 2 at home last year.
No, on the road.
No, on the road.
Yeah, but
right
the
now.
road schedule looks a lot rougher than the home schedule this
That's
year.
what I'm saying, because you went 8-0 on the road in the NFL
so they're
last
challenging
year.
you
They
more.
got to throw you.
All the best
But
AFC team.
But I'm in your camp, D-Mac. The Eagles are on the schedule. I don't give a damn if it's week 1 or week 18 or week 6 or week 7. I don't care.
Here's my question. No. Here's my question, especially and early in the years, like not going to be late in the year, but I want to play them because do you not speculate that the NFC Championship should be Philly, Detroit? Right? So at least you've had a game against them. You've played them. You know what I'm saying? The smoke off the championship. Yeah. I don't play them whenever. Play everybody.
You have to, right? That's the
We're
thing.
not hiding from
I know
anybody.
you want the marquee matchup, but let's be honest. The Lions aren't the marquee team this year to put on that Thursday night football.
I didn't think
it ain't
going to
be like last year.
Yeah, I didn't think they would do it mainly because we did play the Chiefs and beat the Chiefs 2 years ago. So I didn't think that they would put us. But as we get closer, I do think there's a chance we could beat that game because we are the best team in the NFC besides the Eagles. So, I mean, it's possible.
The matchup I want, Lions, Chicago, week 1. That's what I want. I mean, if I have to pick, I want to punch Ben Johnson in the mouth week 1. Start his career off on a bad note.
That'd be cool.
Send the message to Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
This year ain't going to be any different than last year.
They might make that a 4 o'clock game, seeing that Ben Johnson's over there now. That might be a premier game.
To me, that's the more exciting game than playing Philly.
Yeah.
Because Philly week 1 won't mean a damn thing in the playoffs.
No,
it really won't. But Chicago week 1, with all that backstory, all the arguments me and you have had about Ben Johnson and him
2
peering
hour
over the
phone call,
fence
right.
and how much it cost the Lions. Did it cost the Lions? Did
Ben
it not?
Johnson.
I mean, there's just a lot. There's a lot more interest in this game, and that's the Chicago's number 3 market in the nation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the NFL's smart, that's the matchup I'd put the Lions with week 1.
Of course, with Ben Johnson. I mean,
Right,
you know what
right.
I mean?
That's
Going
the
up
storyline.
against with everything else.
Yeah, America's
Yeah,
game of the
when you
week.
like that, I think personally, I want an NFC matchup
Yeah.
to start the season out. Like, hey, this is our division. Let's start out, getting up 1-0.
I just want to send the Bears on a tailspin week 1.
Yeah.
Right? Like, go in there, whoop their ass 35-21, because they're going to put up some points with Ben Johnson. I was going to say 7, but I'll say 21 with Ben Johnson.
Look at you,
But it doesn't
short
matter. You're still taking the L, and they're going to beat that living crap out of the Bears. And just send that message for the rest of the season, guys. It's already over. You already got your divisional loss. Like, just pack it in, Caleb. Just pack it in.
Not mad at that.
Spenny, who are you rooting for week 1?
I mean, now that you mentioned it, I would like the Bears. That would be pretty cool.
What's that?
Now that you said that, I would like the Bears. That would be pretty cool. I don't know if they do like division matchups like that week 1.
No,
but
I don't think so.
That would be box office for sure. And I would love to just slap the Bears around to start the season.
Let's see. Demond Ice, Stick, why you want your ass spanked first week of the season?
Known Bears fan in the chat.
Are we talking about the same Bears team?
Yeah, right.
Are we talking about the bottom of the division Bears
He was saying
team?
this last year before the season started, too.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest. Like the Lions used to celebrate the draft like that was our Super Bowl. The off season is the Bears Super Bowl. That's when they can celebrate. That's when they can run their mouth because the season hasn't started yet and everything's hyperbole.
Right.
But then, once we get in the season, the Bears realize their team's awful. It's never going to happen again. They got to go trade their franchise quarterback and try to get, we saw it with Justin Fields. We saw it with Mitch Trubisky. We're going to see it with Caleb Williams. It's just an endless cycle of suck in Chicago. But this is their time because right now they don't suck.
Yeah.
Last year it was the greatest offense ever assembled for a rookie quarterback. They brought in DeAndre Swift.
Yep.
They got Keenan Allen to come over. My goodness, Roma Dunze. They got a rookie wide receiver to pair with their... Maybe should have gotten a rookie left tackle to pair with your quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe
In
a rookie
retrospect.
lineman in some capacity so Caleb Williams isn't running for his fingernail-painted life. So, I would love to see the Chicago... I just want to end Chicago's hopes week 1.
Well, and there's a little, I don't know, Spenny. I know Spenny got a little taste. He'd like to throw it to Ben Johnson early, wouldn't you, Spenny?
Yep, that'd be nice.
Well, he got a first front row seat last night.
If it's not the first game, I'm pretty sure they'll make that pretty early in the Lions schedule.
Yeah.
So
probably be a Thanksgiving Day game again too.
You think?
Who'd the Lions play on Thanksgiving this year? Well,
it was the Bears.
It was
it the Bears?
Yeah, it was the Bears.
Run it back.
Due for a Packers game.
Maybe the Eagles.
Vikings on.
That would be good. On Thanksgiving? That'd be a fun game.
Eagles on Thanksgiving. I could see that.
Eagles do play on Thanksgiving.
You think the Lions are going to have as many national televised games this next year as they did this year?
No.
Because it seemed like we played, like 5 1:00 games?
You're still a bell of the ball.
You think so?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I don't know how many.
We might be too short. I think we had like 7 or 8 games. We might be too short of that this year. Maybe like 5, 6.
Yeah, because I mean, Washington's kind of jumped you as, like the bell of the ball.
Yeah, right.
They're still not the
Philly
bell of
is
the
now
ball.
the defending Super Bowl champion.
You're not like you was, D-Mac. Like, we're still relevant.
No, but you weren't there last year.
But last year was, but we were in the NFC Championship game last year.
Yeah, we were premier.
With the momentum going to this year.
I get it, but do you not look at the talent of the team? Do you not look at this team being better and healthy?
Yeah. I do, but nationally,
nationally
the stories fizzled out a bit.
How about this? Initially, yes, but your team will be flexed more than anybody else.
I can believe that.
We can meet in the middle.
Thank you.
We can meet in the middle. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
Yeah. No, you will, because here's the thing, right? Yes, off the record, and yes, the Washington's getting to the finals, all this other stuff. But if this team is healthy, right, and you see them coming, you know how the NFL will be.
Yeah.
Burn with the $5 super chat. The Lions were the highest rated team last year, and I get it. But that what we were just talking about. They were the team trending up. They lost a heartbreaker in the NFC Championship game.
Right.
They were the lovable losers. That nobody ever. Now the Lions aren't the lovable losers.
Yeah.
They're the team that choked away a #1 seed last year. They lost in the divisional round to a hot rookie quarterback who the NFL wants to display, especially because it's in Washington. I mean, we're not going to be that guy this year.
I hate to give Ben Johnson credit for this, but the brand of football the Lions were playing, especially offensively, I think the league took notice of that and they really enjoyed that. With John Morton, I don't know if we get that exact same product. See, as far as like trick plays and stuff.
And this is where I disagree with people. Those trick plays come from Dan Campbell. The freedom to call them comes from Dan Campbell. Is that a better way to phrase it? Not that Dan Campbell's writing up the plays, but he's telling them, hey, be as creative as you want. So when Dan Campbell took over the play calling from Aubrey Pleasant is when you started to see this team get better. That was before Ben Johnson was named OC.
It was.
So
but he was working with Ben Johnson.
This is also going to be an incredible way to view how much of this offense was Dan Campbell's, right? Like, Dan's got something to prove this year, that it wasn't all Ben Johnson. So does Jared Goff, too.
You think he's going to call the plays?
No, he's not going to call the plays. Yeah, okay. No. But you got to remember, he's a Sean Payton disciple.
Yeah.
They take risks. They run trick plays. That's part of the game plan.
Yeah,
that is true.
So I'm really curious to see how this offense looks this year.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes maybe you do tone it back on those trick plays. Maybe you don't use all the bells and whistle and you just line up and punch them in the mouth. Like 3rd and 1 when you could go up 17 points in the divisional round.
Right.
Instead of running a wide receiver empty backfield, maybe we're just running a power O right up your ass.
Yeah. Pause.
No pause. No pause.
I would like that. I would like that very much.
Yeah. So
pause.
So as much, I know you did, Spencer. But yeah, so
coming from the guy who wants to fight multiple beavers.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yes.
Multiple bald beavers.
Shaved, right?
Multiple shaved beavers.
Nothing wrong with
so
that.
Nothing wrong with that.
The psychological approach on offense this year is going to be something that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tough to beat the number 4 all-time offensive numbers.
No, for sure.
But as long as you are better in the win column, who gives a shit?
Yep.
And
I would really like to see them say, fuck the cute shit. We're just going to run the ball down your throat all game.
Yeah.
Man.
John Morton older. He might do that. 55. Just he ain't got time for the game.
Bring in David Shaw. Like that a lot, too.
Yeah.
He's obviously a run-first guy. He's a Harbaugh disciple. He's a Stanford guy. They like to pound the rock, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what this offense is going to look like.
that's the best part is I think you could bring in any coach and this offense can adjust to what they want to do.
Yeah,
you want to be you want to be
players.
run heavy, we got the line and the running backs to do it.
Yeah.
You want to be a West Coast offense, we got the wide receivers to get those quick outs. You want to be, an air raid offense, we got the wide receivers, the tight end, and everybody. Like, whatever they brought in, the guys got the tools.
Dude, your playbook's right here.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's over.
everything's on tape. These guys have played together. You have offense. It's just who's going to put them in the right position and at the right time.
Yep.
Well, the right time to go to Planet Fitness? Right
Meow.
now.
Right
Right
now.
now. Nibbly bibbly all on that treadmill.
Am I drinking
50
milk from
Metro
myself?
Detroit locations. Planet Fitness got one near you, and you can upgrade to that black card so you can get the hydro massage, you can get the tanning, and all the other good stuff that they offer at Planet Fitness. Go sign up today. Get in shape. Summer's going to be here before you know it, and you want to at least look better with your shirt off.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com. Enough Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Next, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
Cookies, crispy chicken, and pizza. Just delicious, delicious stuff. 7 different wing flavors for you to choose from. Try them all. Choose your favorite for yourself. My personal favorite is the spicy garlic, but you make your own decisions. You're your own person. Soroki's crispy chicken and pizza. To find one near you, go to Sorokis.com.
Welcome back to Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Neil Rule. That, of course, is Darren McCarty, KG, Chase, and, of course, Spencer is here. We were talking about the Lions, and I made the comment that as long as the wins are better, and you guys were right in the chat, it's going to be tough to beat 15 wins. But I meant further in the playoff wins. That's what I like. The regular season is now not even a topic of discussion for me.
Yeah.
The regular season's going to happen.
Yeah.
As long as the Lions make the playoffs, it doesn't matter.
Get to the playoffs as healthy as possible.
Yep, and that's it. Trend up in the last month of the season, and that's all I care about. Do enough to get by through the first 10 weeks, then start putting it to the metal, right? That's what you have to do, and that's kind of what Philadelphia did. I mean, they had their early loss, and then they went on, what, a 15-game winning streak?
Yeah.
And salty pork chops, I'm born ready for Tigers opening day.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be fun.
When's pitchers and catchers? Soon, right?
Yeah,
Today?
Yeah, they're down there now. We saw Kenta Maeda already out there.
Oh, yeah. Ready for his bullpen day.
Revenge tour.
Right.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers. I mean, April in the D is almost upon us. Got to be nice if the Pistons and the Red Wings made the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean.
And then the Tigers start. We got opening day coming up.
And we actually
April
have
4th.
a team to maybe look forward to. Like last year, we didn't expect them to really do much. It was fun nonetheless, but this year we actually looking forward to maybe a winning team.
I'm really hoping last year wasn't fool's gold.
I hope so too.
If we get Bregman, it won't be.
What the Tigers did at the end was impressive, but what the Twins did at the end was also a major part.
Yes.
They needed the Twins to absolutely be one of the worst franchises in baseball.
Shout out Minnesota.
For them to make it, and I just hope this year the Tigers don't put it in somebody else's hands.
Yeah, I agree.
But they got to come out and get a win starting opening day here in Detroit, which we will be downtown April 4th. We'll be giving away passes and all types of stuff for that.
Oh, yeah,
but D-Mac, what are you looking forward to this baseball season? And early, while pitchers and catchers report, I know Bregman's still the topic of conversation, but he really doesn't, I mean, he matters, but he really doesn't matter until the entire team reports, which is next week. Mm-hmm. So they still got 7 days to kind of filter that relationship.
I'm looking to hear. I'm looking to hear Tarek Skubal's first interview to see if there's any underlying about not having a contract done or commitment or whatever. And I'm sure he's going to be a professional and stuff like that. But it's just seeing him out there in Flaherty and just, I guess, getting into it. The big thing, not only Bregman, is obviously it looks, Javi's going to be here at $25 million, which is, there's a lot of things and a lot of questions that still need to be answered. The fact is that, we're underway. Just how are they going to capitalize on the magic of last year? So, the beauty, as I said earlier in the show, is the Red Wings and the Pistons have eased our
weight.
Eased the weight of what the Lions did. They also eased the weight that when baseball comes, right? You know what I'm saying? So I got other things to pay attention to. I'm more concerned of the Pistons laying a whooping on the Chicago
tonight.
Right. Yeah.
God, that'd be nice if they went back to back with an absolute beatdown of Chicago. But
I think it's coming.
Yeah, Tigers. That's really the main thing, and it's curious to me. I still feel like the Tigers are confident they're going to sign Bregman because they haven't looked elsewhere. You haven't even heard of them approaching a secondary option of what they're going to do at third base. So, from all reports, the Tigers have the best offer out there.
That's what I've heard.
That's what everybody's saying. Obviously, we don't know, and I don't even think the Tigers know. But if they put the best offer out there and Bregman decides not to come here, are you still clowning Chris Ilitch?
No.
Chase, you look like...
Oh, I was just saying, I think D-Mac's point last week was spot on, where he said that it's kind of like, you're getting later and closer and closer to 2 o'clock at the bar, and the Tigers are the best looking person to take home for Bregman, in this hour of the night. So
I think I said the old 2 at 10, 10 at 2.
Yeah, I think
there we
D-Mac's,
go.
I think that was a spot on analogy.
Thank you. Connecting with the youth. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Connected with the youth part.
Definitely connect. Yeah, but I don't know, man. It'll
would get
say a
some
lot
blame.
about the franchise if they gave the best offer to the guy that they wanted and he didn't come here.
I mean, he will still get some blame because it took so long. And from what I've heard, their whole offseason has been to get Alex Bregman, essentially. So if you spend all offseason trying to get this guy and you don't do it, I mean, that's kind of on you, especially if you have no other options at third base. No disrespect to Jace Young. I think he'll be all right. But
is he worth overpaying?
Yes.
Yes.
How much are you willing to overpay? Because Miguel Cabrera got triple crowns, batting championships, took us to multiple World Series, and at the end of his career here, people were bitching that we overpaid for the long haul.
And those people are stupid.
Yeah.
And you're not going to sign Bregman to a 10-year contract, but I'm fine with giving him 5-6 years. You'll get 4 years of very good Bregman, and then maybe 2 years.
6 is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, because it ain't about the money; it's about the length of the contract.
It's about the length of the deal.
So if that's the case, just give him that fucking extra year and let's move on.
Yeah.
How about this? Think about if they did sign Bregman, then you're sitting there going, oh, my God, I signed Bregman and Flaherty in the offseason. Like, where are you at right now? Like, I think maybe the Flaherty signing maybe gets the camp a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Bregman, I don't know, but, like, that's legitimate 2 good pickups in the offseason.
Yeah.
Like,
Bregman
really
puts you in ALCS conversation, I feel like.
And what's crazy is the payroll.
Jake says he's not worth anything. Matt Vierling puts up the same numbers. That is completely and utterly false.
Yeah.
All of Alex Bregman's numbers are better than Matt Vierling's. Literally all of them.
Right, and we love Matt Vierling.
Do you worry about Bregman's power numbers? I mean, once he gets later on in his career in that contract, if he does take the 6 year, are you guys willing to accept 2 years of suck?
He's a better power hitter than most of the people on our team right now.
I'm willing to accept 2 years of suck because if you sign Alex Bregman, you win the AL Central this year.
Yeah. And I mean, with the payroll the way it is, you can afford to overpay a Bregman. I mean, that'll probably he steps on the field. He's your best fielder, right?
Yes.
He's your best positional player.
Yes.
So overpay the man.
Why not?
I feel so bad for
You
Chris
overpay
Ilitch,
a hobby,
though.
why the fuck not?
Yeah.
But how far do you go into the well, though, right? Like, if he comes back and he's like, nah, I'll do it. I really don't want to come to Detroit, but for an 8-year deal, I'll do it.
For an 8-year deal. I mean,
seriously, I mean, this is what happens. His agent's going to try to peel the most money and the most time out of whoever he signs
At
with.
this point, they have no leverage. You waited literally until pitchers and catchers are reporting.
Well, he has leverage. He has other offers on the table.
Yeah,
okay, I'll go sign a 3-year, and then in 3 years I'll do this again.
And that's fine.
Okay.
But you blew a chance at having a good situation with good money and good term. with people that you're familiar with.
I just cannot wait for the day that Travis texts me. He's like, I'm making the graphic.
Yep.
Man,
actually, we should already have the graphic made. And I can't wait till he calls me and says, I'm posting the graphic.
I've edited the graphic 27 times.
Every time JB posts a Twitter link in the Woodward Sports little chat, I get mad. It's a Tigers link, and I get mad. It's not Bregman.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yeah, he just posted one, actually.
Yeah, I know, and I got upset. That's why I brought it up. Like,
pitchers and catchers have reported. Jen Hammond posted a video on her Twitter.
Shout out Hammond.
So, yeah, baseball season's almost here. That means sunshine is almost here. You gonna play the
got
video?
the breaking news. What's up?
No.
Yeah,
just real quick to everybody talking about Alex Bregman and Matt Vierling's numbers.
That's only that one guy.
It's just like, come on. Don't even like try to
Spenny about to put him on Front Street, though.
It's like, wait a minute, I got it.
It's pretty different.
God damn.
Yeah, so like,
that's a lot of greed on that side.
I mean,
the WAR is probably the most important.
Yeah, and the home runs. You know, 10 more home runs, almost 20 more RBIs.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, he whooping that ass.
So,
it
is.
I wasn't even close.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we say say things.
Stats are stats.
We say things sometimes.
If you want to ask a question to D-Mac or anybody in the room right now, make sure you get it in the chat, because coming up next, we're going to take those questions. And obviously, if you want it definitely mentioned, make sure you drop a super chat in there. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back. But first, D-Mac, tell them about what me and you are going to be doing a week from Saturday.
Absolutely. February 22nd. Put that on your calendar. The parking lot at Jars, Utica, skiers, snowboarders, 14-foot drop-in ramp. Yeah, 3 custom features at the brand new Jars parking lot. 1 to 5. Jam-style competition judged by 3 guest pros. $8,000 in cash prizes. So, to sign up, go to jarscannabis.com/JarsRailsJam. Open to skiers and snowboarders 21 plus, limited to 50. So make sure you sign up today. Stick an eye, as he said, we'll be broadcasting there from 2 to 4. Spectators are also welcome. The event is free to attend, and free food with Jars purchases, live DJs, giveaways, DMAC brand, everything. Drop in, cash out with Jars.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
All right, last segment of the show. It's Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. Neil Rule is out today. He is calling Oakland University basketball in Indy. He will be back on Friday. Darren McCarty is in here, KG, Chase, and, of course, Spencer Raxter. It's time to ask D-Mac or anybody else in this room a question. And I got a trivia question for you, D-Mac. You ready for it?
Yep.
Everyone knows Mario Lemieux had 5 goals, but only 2 players have scored 4 goals 4 different ways. You played with both of them. Both wore a letter. Who are they?
I'd say Fedorov and Shanahan, but I could be wrong.
Always a fan. Drop the answer in the chat, but that would make sense to me. Maybe Brett Hull. Did Brett Hull wear a letter?
No, it could be
What are the 5 ways to score a goal?
But I don't know. Fedorov, I know. Didn't he have 5 against Washington back in all different ways? So it's a great question, though. What's the answer?
That is the question. That is.
Shanny's right.
The away fan said Shanny's right. No to Fedorov. So I don't know if he's still waiting for you to answer
Fedorov
the second
had 5,
one.
not 4. That's how great he is.
But what is the 5 ways to score a goal?
Penalty shot, empty netter, power play, shorthanded, even strike.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah. That's the full
Was it
mark. Like the
Dotson?
penalty shot's the one that's the misnomer, right?
Was it Pavel?
Could be Pavel. I'm waiting for the answer.
Ginla is the other.
Ginla.
Oh, and I played with the I threw in a
Yeah.
sneaky snaky, but Ginla was the captain. I thought, you said letter. So
Yeah,
I thought,
yeah.
okay. You know what? That makes sense. Power forwards. Sneaky.
Yeah, shout out the away fan. I'll see you in Columbus.
Friend of the network. Shout out away fan.
That was good.
Cody-
he is.
Cody Engel with the question. Is SOL back in the fan base with fans saying, let Holmes cook, then questioning his cooking after the fact? I don't think so. I do believe it's a whole new era of the Detroit Lions. There's still some SOL fans, but I don't think they're questioning Brad Holmes because they're SOL fans.
I think you guys are just being sensitive.
I think now you actually have things you can question Brad Holmes about.
Yeah, exactly.
And you used to not have anything.
And just because you question doesn't mean you don't support the man.
Yeah,
That's
nobody's
the
saying
line
Brad
we need to
Holmes
get
can't draft. I think you guys are just being sensitive.
Right. Yeah, and it also comes with actually having expectations for your team.
Right.
I mean, if anybody delivered anything before Brad Holmes got here, you'd say, "Oh, that's the best we've had."
Yeah.
Right. And now we have expectations of Brad Holmes.
Brad Holmes has been the second best GM in the NFL since he's taken over,
and been the best GM the Lions have ever had.
and has been the best GM the Lions have ever had. Yeah, for sure,
Without a doubt, hands down.
But it's okay to say you want more out of Broderick Martin and Levi Onwuzurike
At the
and
same
Josh
time.
Pascal.
Like he got them to be winners after year 3. We're not going into year 5. So there's questions that can be asked.
Yes.
I was called a madman for questioning Brad Holmes before it was popular.
Yeah, you're a madman.
And that's the cute thing, right, with sports. You can always find something to support your argument if you want to, but you can call him a madman. But Brad Holmes is a pure genius.
Yeah.
And the fact of what he took this franchise from to what they are,
Absolutely.
to me, he's without a championship, he's borderline what I feel about Joe Dumars earlier.
guys are
Like, if he
missing
leaves here without a Super Bowl and you guys bash him for anything he did, I will not have it for the rest of my life.
You're missing the point, too. The synergies between your GM and your coach in that organization.
Yeah.
That doesn't always happen. And ours is as great
Well,
as,
and
as anyone's out there.
What's even more impressive about that is the coach was hired before the GM.
No, Sheila put them together.
Right.
They didn't come together. That's the beauty of why it works. It was an arranged marriage.
But that can sometimes backfire.
It usually backfires.
Right?
But
I'm going to hire your
not
employee.
here when you're trying to change the culture of a whole organization.
Right.
You have no choice, and thank God Sheila stepped in and made it work.
You know, if I ever get a chance to talk to Dan Campbell or, we're down there talking to him, I want to ask, because I don't know this, the relationship he had with Brad Holmes before the Detroit thing.
I don't think it was much of one.
Did they know of each other? Did they share a beer
Sort
at
of like
one
getting-
point? I'd like to find that out to see if there was any type of, at least we've talked before.
I don't
Yeah, I'm
believe
sure
there
that they've
was, but
crossed paths.
Right.
But the fact is, it's like getting drafted to the team, in the same draft year, or being 2 first right. They knew it, and the responsibility to turn this all around. And what they were getting into, they knew it, and that's the beauty, and the beauty that the story tells throughout the locker room is it starts with those two. It starts with Sheila, then to them two. So everybody else who comes into Allen Park has to get in line. That's why they're the doorkeepers.
God bless you, Sheila. Thank you.
We're flowers.
And that's it. We are out of here. Thank you guys for being a part of the show today. Make sure you go to the grocery store, stock up. It's supposed to get like 10 inches of snow now.
Snowmageddon. What?
Yeah, that's what my wife just texted me.
Fuck.
She's got to drive home from Flint in about 2 hours, so she's hoping it doesn't hit yet. But yeah, lots of snow tonight. Drive safe. Stay in the house.
See you
Stay
tomorrow.
warm.
Sean and I
Watch
will
the
be here.
Pistons beat some ass tonight.
Deuces.